I know this is going to come off as a little bit of a surprise to some of you guys, but Paddy Pimblett is not the dude that he is coming off as. He's not the dude that the UFC is making him look out to be. Absolutely not. Now, yes, Paddy Pimblett is 8-0 in the UFC. I've heard some people throw that around. He's undefeated in the UFC, mate. The Scouser, he's undefeated in the UFC. Yes, he is. He absolutely is. But everything after 2022 has been absolutely shaky. In 2022, he fought Jared Gordon, and we all know that he was just handed a robbery victory. Jared Gordon decisively beat Paddy Pimblett, and Jared was robbed. He was absolutely robbed. Even Paddy Pimblett, after the fact, acknowledged that he got lucky with that grace from God, that free decision victory over Jared Gordon. Even he knows he lost that fight. Okay, that was in 2022. In 2023, they gave Paddy Pimblett Tony Ferguson, who was on an 8-fight losing streak, and you guys know who started off that losing streak? Justin Gaethje. Justin Gaethje went out there and completely demolished Tony Ferguson. He ended his career. Tony Ferguson was never able to recoup after that loss from Justin Gaethje. Okay. After they gave him the Tony Ferguson fight, Paddy Pimblett was talking about, I'm going to submit Tony Ferguson. I'm going to show levels on the ground against Tony Ferguson. It's going to be insane. He goes out there and takes Tony Ferguson to a fucking decision. And a boring one at that. Now, I don't understand how after you get handed a robbery victory over Jared Gordon. Then you take somebody who is 0-7 or 0-6 in their last 7. He was either on a 7-fight losing streak or an 8-fight losing streak at the time. Tony Ferguson was. After you take somebody like that to a decision and a boring one, what are they going to give you next? Well, the UFC decided to give him Bobby King Green, where this is where it gets a little interesting. Now, Bobby King Green obviously has been fighting since probably before I was even born. Okay, Bobby Green has an MMA record of 33-17-1. Okay, dude has been in like quadruple the amount of fights that Paddy Pimblett has been in the UFC. So Paddy Pimblett goes out there and choked out Bobby Green in the first round. But again, boys, Bobby Green is like 39 years old, okay? He's been a fucking gatekeeper since about 2020. His resume has been a Christmas tree since 2020. Losses to Drew Dober, losses to Islam Makhachev, losses to Jalen Turner. No contest against Jared Gordon, by the way. Losses to Marcio Rott. Like, come on. The fight before Paddy Pimblett, Jim Miller and Bobby Green had a 15-minute war. Jim Miller is one of the oldest contracted dudes in the UFC. Jim Miller has the most fights in the UFC. But Paddy Pimblett went out there and choked out Bobby Green in the first round, and it was very decisive, right? So after that, everybody gets to talking, oh, wow, Paddy Pimblett really can show levels on the ground. He's going to be like the next Charles Oliveira. Oh, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Then they book him with Michael Chandler, a wrestler. They book him with Michael Chandler. And Paddy Pimblett went out there and completely walked down Michael Chandler. He did. His wrestling was opportunistic. It was not dominant. He was looking for opportunities to scramble really fast and get a dominant position and ground and pound. And that worked. And that did work. But, again, Michael Chandler was 0-2 in his last 2 going into that fight and 1-3 in his last 4. How does Paddy Pimblett fight Tony Ferguson, Bobby Green, and then Michael Chandler in the past 3 years? He's fought 3 times in the past 3 years, and now he is ranked 5. How does that even work? Yes, obviously the UFC is pushing him forward. They want him to win this interim fight against Justin Gaethje, and Justin has been in a position like this before. They gave Justin Gaethje Tony Ferguson. Now, I believe Tony stepped in on short notice, somebody stepped in on short notice for this Justin Gaethje versus Tony Ferguson fight, and Justin went out there and demolished Tony Ferguson, and that got him the fight against Khabib. So if Justin goes out there and does the exact same thing that he did to Tony Ferguson, which was a generational beating, a brain cell losing trauma extravaganza, he's going to get this fight with Ilia Topuria and / or Arman Tsarukyan. Now, Paddy Pimblett, he is not a Dagestanian wrestler. What I mean by that is he is not like, oh my God, we must fear the takedown from this guy. We must fear the takedown. Justin Gaethje is a fucking wrestler. Yes, I understand, Michael. E-Rock, you just said Michael Chandler was a wrestler, but Justin Gaethje has better takedown defense, better win-loss ratio, better strike differential, better defense. Okay, he's better all around. He is. He literally is, and he beat Michael Chandler. Like, can we be serious here? No, he didn't finish. He didn't finish Michael Chandler. He took him to a decision, but it was still beautiful. Okay, Justin Gaethje is going to go out there. Heavy leg kicks, beautiful uppercuts, some nice clinches, and some beautiful takedown defense. Now, I know you guys are screaming at the screen. E-Rock, Rafael Fiziev took Justin Gaethje down in their second fight in the first, 10 seconds, and we thought it was over. He sat on Justin Gaethje's head. Yes, but Justin wasn't expecting that. Him going in there to fight Paddy, he's expecting Paddy Pimblett to shoot a takedown against him. He is. And I think my GOAT, Justin Gaethje, has just a little bit enough in the gas tank to throw an amazing war out there for us, boys. I think the uppercuts, I think the looping punches, I think the leg kicks, and the takedown defense is going to be too much for Paddy Pimblett. Paddy Pimblett has a terrible strike defense percentage. He's defending strikes at 50%. Significant strikes at 50%. Justin Gaethje lands about 6 significant strikes per minute. It's destined that we're going to be seeing Paddy Pimblett down. And how good is Paddy's gas tank? Questionable. Let's be real, questionable. He didn't really look good against Tony Ferguson, but that was 2 years ago. They're preserving Paddy. He's fighting fucking once a year. I think Justin Gaethje is going to go out there and kill this dude's dreams. This fatty boom baddie's dreams. This little whale, this whale's dreams are going to get crushed. Justin, I'm scared for you. Oh, I am scared. But when have I not been? When Justin went out there and fought Max Holloway, I was so overconfident. I thought Max Holloway signed his funeral certificate. And Max went out there and dominated. When you fought Dustin for the second time, I was spooked. But you knocked him out in the second round. I was like, oh, this is fantastic. I screamed. Me and my girlfriend watched that in our living room. We screamed together. It was a bonding moment. Okay? When you went out there and fought Rafael Fiziev, I knew you were going to win. The Charles thing was a little spooky to me. Chandler, I knew you were going to win. Habib, and Tony, I knew you were going to win. Come on. When things get real, you call on a real veteran, a dude who knows how to throw some shit into the fire and pull some shit out of the fire, and Justin Gaethje is that dude. Justin, I'm calling for some rolling thunders. I'm calling for some heavy leg kicks. I am calling for some goddamn uppercuts and for you to keep your hands like this so we can just drop down and defend the takedowns. Alright? Do not put your money on Paddy Pimblett. Justin Gaethje is the wave. Save us, Justin. And also, keep in mind, I would much rather see Justin versus Ilya than Paddy versus Ilya. Who the fuck is Paddy Pimblett? Who is he?